Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Rope and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a little different. I'll be discussing the overall power of the dredge. A lot of people over the community, I believe, has a misunderstanding of the dredge and where his overall power lies. Not lies, or like how strong his power can be. What got me started on this is Scott June. He's an amazing content creator. I highly suggest you check him out. Amazing guy. I love his content. But I do not agree with him on the dredge. And with Artstarva. Now, I do not agree with him on the dredge either. Now, Artstarva is a guy, you probably all know him. The face of DBD, basically. He puts in thousands and thousands of hours in this game studying every killer. And he just has a really overall better view of the game than me. He's played a lot more than me. He probably knows stuff I don't. I probably almost have 4,000 hours, getting close now, but I'm still in the 3,000 hours range. So he definitely does have a lot more time than me. He has like 12,000 hours, something like that. So I've made a little tier list here with overall. I don't really play every single killer. I don't play every single killer. So a lot of these killers I do not know where exactly to really place them. So I looked at the Starva stuff, and this is kind of what I've made of it. The dredge is over here. I think he's a high B. I do not think people think he's a bottom B or like C, or which he can be. He can be most of the time. I believe he's B. Like, the reason people think he is a bottom of B is because of his map dependency, is what they say. Map dependency. He's an add-on dependent killer. His remnant is okay. You only get hits at certain loops. His teleporting is it's not the best, but it's not the worst. Nightfall is a nice boost. This is why everybody says he's in the bottom of B. But in my opinion, sometimes he can even be an A tier killer, and sometimes he can even be a D tier killer. Now, he is a map dependent killer. Don't get me wrong, he is map dependent. Some maps are better for him, and others are worse for him. But most of the maps are really not that bad for the dredge, and that's why I put him in B. He's a solid B killer on most of the maps. Most of the maps have good locker coverage. Like Coal Tower is a good place for a good locker coverage. Shelter Woods, though, is not a good place. So on Coal Tower, all these jungle gyms, you're gonna have lockers on all these jungle gyms. Over here at the wood pile, if it's a wood pile or the water tower, you're gonna have lockers there. Shack, you're gonna have lockers at Shack. You're gonna have lockers at Main. So you got a pretty good coverage of lockers. So if they're anywhere in here, you can teleport to these two. If they're anywhere over here, you can teleport Shack. Or here, you can teleport there. Or if they're at 3, go 4. If they're in the middle here, you can come out there. Basically, anywhere you look, you basically have a locker. Or you can basically teleport to a locker and get to that section of the map. But then you go over to Shelter Woods, and it's an entirely different story. You got lockers here, lockers there, lockers there. You got a couple of lockers here. I don't really exactly know. Depends on how it spawns. You don't have lockers at the tree. You got lockers at Shack. So this area you can kind of defend with Shack. If you teleport to Shack, you can defend that. You can defend those with Shack. You can defend that with this area here. You can defend that area too, kind of, with this. But over here, 3, this area right here, you basically can't defend at all. I guess you can kind of defend 2 with that. But then you got this area, like, you don't really have ability to teleport to any of these areas. Or like over here, you might not even be able to teleport over here at all. Like, there might be a locker here that you can teleport over here, but it might be over here. It's just not very good. You don't really have a lot of lockers to control the map very well. And that's why it can be a D or C tier killer, in my opinion. But most of the maps are not like that. Here's a Sanctum Raft. Sanctum Raft, you got lockers in the middle. You can always get to the middle, always get to whatever side you want. You can always cut somebody off, and then you can also be on whatever side you want. It's a really solid map for the dredge. This map is actually used in some tournaments. Cold Tower. I've played Cold Tower competitively with the dredge. It was a no perkless tournament. Sorry, excuse me. But these maps are really solid for the dredge. Really not that bad. Now you do have bad maps like this. This ain't really the best map for dredge. Like, you got lockers here that you control this bottom half. You got shack that for the boat. You can teleport the boat and push people off this gen. But you can't really control the map very well with the lockers set up. Now, a lot of maps are just not like that. A lot of maps do have of good locker placements that you can control the map with such as the Parallel Roads does not, though. Let me see if I can find a lot of maps are really not that bad for the dredge. Like Rotten Fields are really not that bad of a map for the dredge anymore because you can have a locker spawn in the corner over here. So you got lockers there. You got a good chunk of the outer edge of the map. You got a bunch of lockers, and then you got a couple lockers in the middle of here, and then you got shack. So it's really not that bad of a map anymore. Uh, what else ain't really that bad of a map? Bad hand maps are just those just kind of sucks for everybody. But really, you do have good locker coverage. Like in Maine, I like to break like this side door over here. I like to break that, but every kill is gonna struggle on that map, and I think the dredge actually does better on that map than most killers. Indoor maps, you're gonna have lots of lockers. Midwich, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Is that Midwich? Again, I think that's Midwich. Yeah, that's Midwich. And this is treatment. Oh, I don't know what the hell that is. I was looking for the game, but I'm not seeing the game. That's treatment theater. Oh, I can read it. The game map. I can't really read that. That's raccoon. Okay. The game map. You got a good amount of lockers on the bottom. And then top, you don't really have a lot of lockers. There's which kind of sucks, but you mainly want to focus on like the bottom gens on the game map. You want to focus on the bottom gens, and then if there's a locker next to a gen up top, you want to focus on that gen. So you want to focus on the lockers that are next to generators, like in Lambkin Lane. Uh, Lambkin Lane is a terrible map for the dredge. I did not see it at all. Is it another? Area Crows the dog. Lambkin Lane. Lambkin Lane. There's always a gen that's gonna like spawn in this building. There's a locker right next to it, so you want to defend that locker. You can get to this area easy by main. There's a window you can vault out of. Especially now, like Lambkin Lane is a really nice map for dredge now. They put lockers over at 9 and 3, which is just amazing. So you can have access to the street and access to the gens in the street, which is amazing. And then they made the buildings better. You can get around the buildings better, which makes the lockers even better because you can now teleport to more lockers and get to more areas faster. It's really nice. So this is not the worst map anymore. See, like maps like this are constantly changing too. Temple. Mother's Dwelling kind of have this like open area right here. It's kind of sucks. The temple really ain't that bad of a map for him, but a lot of maps are just really not that bad for him. And then everybody has bad maps like Singularity. All the indoor maps are just bad maps for him. It makes him really hard to play. Uh, Huntress on indoor maps. Billy on indoor maps. A lot of killers that suffer. Basically, every single killer will suffer from a map. Basically. And the Dredge is a killer that does suffer from a map and suffers more from a map than most. But he really doesn't have that many bad maps anymore, is what I'm saying. Another thing is, people say he's add-on dependent. He is not an add-on dependent killer. Yeah, when you get higher, talk about really good players and you get higher or in the skill level, skill level. A lot of killers are gonna need add-ons to be better, like Singularity. He's an add-on dependent killer. He has to have the haste add-on. Death Slinger ain't really that add-on dependent, but there's add-ons that really help him. Same with the Dredge. He's not very add-on dependent, but there's add-ons that really do really help him. Like, for example, the Broken Doll. The Broken Doll is an insane add-on for the Dredge, helps him a lot. But there you can, like, if you run an add-on, you don't really need the other add-ons, if that makes sense. Like, twins do not need add-ons. Maybe need speed add-ons. But see, everybody has their add-ons that they need on higher MMR. I don't know about Xeno. I don't play Xeno. Huntress, she doesn't really need add-ons on high MMR. Billy really doesn't need add-ons on high MMR, but they really do help and improve the game. Like Oni kind of needs add-ons like speed add-on or duration add-on or just something. Pyramid Head kind of needs range add-ons or something like that. But a lot of killers need add-ons on high MMR. But people thinks he's more add-on dependent than he actually is, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, they say Hattie's calendar. I know people say this all the time that Hattie's calendar could be like Half-Baked's Kid. It's such a good add-on, but it's really not. It's really not that good of an add-on at all. It's an overrated add-on. It just doesn't help that much. The only add-on that I would say that could be a little base kit for the Dredge is Mouththinker's Skull. Mouththinker's Skull does have a big effect, and it would be nice for that to be a little base kit, but he still doesn't need that. All these add-ons, he just doesn't need base kit. Like Hattie's calendar, let me explain to you why Hattie's calendar is bad add-on. So like when you have locker setups, you're not gonna be like teleporting to sorry, dog are barking at each other. But you're not gonna be teleporting to a locked locker, locked locker, locked locker. You're not gonna be doing that. You're gonna be teleporting to certain lockers in certain areas, like at number 10. Number 10, let's say there's 2 lockers up there. Let's say it's a or even if there's one lock, let's just say 2. There's like a locker, I don't know, there and well, right here and right there. It's a 4-lane tile. You're gonna teleport to like probably like this one down here. You might teleport that one up there, but you're gonna basically only be teleporting to one of those lockers. One of those lockers you're only gonna be teleporting to. And you're not gonna worry about the other one because it's locked. Like you teleport over there, they're both locked. You come out of one, you break it. Heidi's calendar saves you a second, and then you go on about your business. You don't really care about this locker. You're just gonna be teleporting to this locker, and then if like somebody's up there, you teleport to that locker, come over here, break that, and start chasing them over to 12. But you see, you don't really need both of the lockers. You're not gonna teleport to this one and then teleport to that one. So then it saves you 2 seconds. No, you're just gonna teleport to that one because if you teleport to that one, that's just gonna waste 2 seconds. It's just gonna waste 2 seconds. You might as well just teleport to that one and walk by that one and break it, and then keep on going. That's kind of like the deal with Hattie's calendar. Hattie's calendar really doesn't save you a lot of time. It only saves you a second. Like really, I haven't really ever got a hit Hattie's calendar. Yeah, I've gotten a hit before with Hattie's calendar, but it really just doesn't happen that much. Like there's never been a time which I come on a locker 1 second faster and then they don't make the window or don't make the pallet. That's a really rare time. And then you don't really save a lot of time going around the map with Howdy's calendar. It just saves you a second. Like, say you teleport to 6 lockers, that saves you 6 seconds. Where you could be running another add-on that saves even more time. You can run like opium writing, I think it's called, something like that. I can't remember what it's called. Something writing. But it's the book one. The green add-on that decreases your cooldown by 4 seconds. Now with that add-on, you're gonna be teleporting 4 seconds sooner, which is gonna save you 4 seconds. It's going to save you more time than the Halley's calendar would. Halley's calendar would save you 1 second, but being able to teleport there 4 seconds sooner, it's going to save you 4 seconds. You can use an add-on like Destroyed Pillow. So when you're in Nightfall, lockers don't really matter to you that much. Like you go break through them, and then you get on a cooldown, and then you teleport, cut them off again. But with a certain add-on called Destroyed Pillow, lockers are not a big deal at all. Lockers don't matter at all because you can just teleport, break it, it just instantly teleport again. Like what I like to do with the short pillow is why I think it's a underrated add-on, is better than what people think. Is you can go around the map and destroy lockers. Like say you hooked somebody at 7. There's a locker here that's locked. You teleport there and you break it. You know there's a locker up here that's locked. You teleport there and break it. Then you can teleport back to 8. Or teleport back here immediately. See if anyone's coming for the save. Nobody's coming for the save. Teleport to 3. See if there's anybody on the 3 gen. You can easily break that lock. You can break any locks there. But with the short pillow, you can just annihilate locks. And then you can just instantly teleport again. Like, lockers just don't matter at all. You teleport to cut somebody off. You break out, you can instantly teleport again to cut them off. But certain add-ons that people say that needs to be base kit don't really need to be base kit at all. So, and the locks on the lockers aren't really that big of a deal, especially if you are in Nightfall. People say it's such a big deal. It's really not. But moving on to another thing that people say is bad is his remnant. His remnant is not a bad tool. If you know how to use it and know how to place it, you can really get stuff done with it. So like, let's say somebody's looping me at 9. Alright, so it's a rock tile, so that there and what? That there. So if I could force them on this side, I could like place my remnant here, and they either run around that side or like try to hold W10, and then I could just let go and follow them at 10 and do the same thing. Like let's say it's a LT loop. LT loop. I'm having a brain fart. There. LT loop. He vaults that. I can just place my remnant and right here on this side and go around the side and just push them into my remnant. Like there's nothing they can do because I will eventually be able to zone them. It might take 5 seconds longer, but I will be able to zone them. And then if they go along this, if they try to play this pallet and go on there, I'll just get the hit anyway. Or if they just sit at the pallet and try to play it, is probably what the best thing they can do. Is I can try to bait them into throwing it and just like kind of push the pallet and teleport to my remnant, or try to fake my remnant, or just something like that. But basically, at any single loop is what I'm trying to say is basically at any loop, if the survivor plays the loop, it's a guaranteed hit for the dredge. Like if you know how to place your remnant and if you know what you're doing, you can make every single loop a death sentence. Like number 6 at 6 o'clock, Killer Shack, which 6 o'clock's here. This Killer Shack, so 6 and Killer Shack is callouts I use. But at Killer Shack right here. Killer Shack is a really strong loop against certain killers, really strong. But against the dredge, not so much. Like if the window's here, that means the doorway's there and doorway's there. I can place my remnant here and just walk this way and push them into it. Now, no matter what they do, if they keep going, I teleport to my remnant, cut them off. If they vault the window, teleport to my remnant, cut them off. If they come back this way, I cancel, hit them. That works same way. If the doorway was like there, then that's the window, that's the doorway. I could place my remnant here. Go cut them off. If they try to hold W, I can go teleport, cut them off. If they try to play a tile, I can teleport, cut them off. Let's say they try to hold W, and then I teleport here. They realize, so they come over here into this little spot right here. Whatever, I don't know. And then the pallet's right there in the middle. I don't know. And then I could just like kind of just wait here for my power, and then just as soon as I get my power, that's a free hit right there. See, basically, like any single tile or every single tile in the game, I can get a free hit, no matter what. Besides, there's certain tiles that you just can't because people will just hold W from. Like Dredge's biggest problem is mid tiles. Like there was probably gonna be a tile here, or it might be there, but normally there's a mid tile there, or it could be there. No matter how you play those, the survivor will not play that tile, and he will hold W to another loop. So what you have to do is you have to zone them in a way to like force them to shack or to force them into the corner or something like that, or just straight up just get them out of the way, just brute force the tile and just get the tile out of the way. But those are the only tiles that actually matter, is just the mid tiles. But every other tile you will be able to zone them into a corner or into the side of the map and get the hit. So like, for examples, like the game has a bunch of god tiles, god palettes. Game has a bunch of god palettes. And like the one at the stairs, the dredge can just leave the remnant at the pallet and then go and jump off the ledge and go up the stairs. And if they're still there, you hit them. If they vaulted the pallet, you teleport to your remnant. Like god pallets like that other killers will have trouble with, the dredge can get a free hit on. So the dredge's remnant is underestimated, and that's just what I wanted to say. And also another underestimated tool is his nightfall. Now people say he's a noob stomper. He is a noob stomper, and then people's vision gets really messed up and they can't really see at all if you have like TV flashing on your screen. Is what Otstarvo always says. But then like for nightfall, it's not really that big of a deal. Or experienced players don't care about that stuff, but that's not really where the strength lies. That's talking about the like night vision stuff, like when your eyes are just like pure black, you can't really see nothing. That really doesn't matter. You can't see him across the map, which is nice, but your teammates are probably just gonna tell him that he's across the map. But the benefits of Nightfall is you can basically be anywhere on the map as once. It's your strongest form. You can be anywhere you want. So let's say somebody's working a gen at 10. You go interrupt them. They were injured. You down them. You hook them. There's somebody at 3. You teleport to 3. You're chasing him off the gen. And then you teleport to 9 because somebody was at 7 working on the gen and they're moving up to unhook them at 11. So you teleport to 9. You cut them off. You hit them. You teleport to the logs instantly to cut them off. If you cut them off, you down them, but then you instantly teleport to main. Like, you can just be anywhere you want at once, and you can just juggle them. You can just jungle everybody. That's why you have to stay healthy against the dredge. You can't be injured, or you can't be doing gens injured like you can with other killers, like the blight or the nurse. You can't be doing that with the dredge. He's such a good killer at snowballing. He's so good at snowballing. You can't do that because you could be working on the gen here and he's instantly on you. Then he's instantly cutting the guy that's going for the unhook off, and then he's instantly trading at the hook. He's instantly back on you. Like, he can be anywhere he wants, and he just can control the map and snowball really well. That's why he's such a power when he's in Nightfall. It's not that because people can't see where they're going. It's because you can move so quickly and your cooldown is so low, or you basically get free reign of the map. Like, if the Dredge Nightfall was base kit, he didn't have to charge up his Nightfall and always had his Nightfall. It just wasn't dark or anything. His just teleporting speed was always at 900%. His cooldown was always at 4 seconds. He would be probably a A+ killer, honestly. And especially on certain maps, it can really show how deadly this can be, like Midwich. Anyway, moving on to another side effect of Nightfall is you can hear the dredge from like 32 meters away. The dredge makes a really loud noise, and you can like hear it in Nightfall. Probably more clearly. You can always hear it's not like in Nightfall. I think it's all the time. You can always hear the dredge's audio. You can always hear him through walls. You can always pinpoint where he is by his sound. But, like, again, that doesn't really matter because on the dredge, you're not really doing, like, fancy moonwalk mind games, trying to outplay the survivor with red stain mind games. Yeah, you might try that at, like, certain loops. You might try to outplay him with that, but really, you're not really doing that. And really, you're just using your remnant. Like, here, I don't care that they can see me. Or at Shack, I don't care that they can see me. I place my remnant here. I go around. I don't care he's watching me go around. As soon as I turn this corner, if I don't see him, I know to teleport to my remnant because he's going to be like right in this area right here. And he's going to be trying to throw the pallet down or something like that. I would see him vault the window, or just standing there. Like it doesn't matter if the survivor can see me as long as I can see them. Like it doesn't matter if they know where I am as long as I can know where they are. Like if I can hear their footsteps through the wall, I don't care if they can hear me through the wall. And then on certain loops, it's just like you can just see what they're doing. It just doesn't matter. But really, you're not really doing any red stain mind games with the dredge because your remnant, you don't have to. You just place your remnant down and you go around, and that's a free hit. You don't really want to do this fancy red stain mind game where you might not even get the hit. And then also, they say you can't sneak up on people. You don't really need to sneak up on people with the dredge because you're always going to be teleported when you're in Nightfall. If you're not teleported in Nightfall, you're doing something wrong. Or you're just on a map with no lockers. But on a map with good locker coverage like the Cold Tower, you're going to be teleporting all the time. You're going to be teleporting. Cut them off. You're not going to be like walking to them. You're going to be teleporting to like 10 if they're at 9 or 8 if they're 9. That's what you're going to be doing. You ain't going to come from 3 to 9. You're going to teleport to 10 or teleport to 8 and go to 9. You're not going to be walking there. You're going to be teleporting there. So really, it does really mess with his, it does mess with him sneaking up on people. You can't really do it. But really, you're not sneaking up on people. You're just teleporting to next to them or teleporting near them, and then they can hear you smash into the locker anyway. They know you're there. But anyway, I think I'm pretty much covered everything of why people think he's such a bad killer and why I don't think he's such a bad killer, and that all the things that makes him a bad killer is what everybody's saying makes him a bad killer. It just really doesn't have a lot going for it. But I think I covered anything. If not, I might make a video in the soon future or something. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody.